Great. Mardu aggro. It's also a Hero of the Precinct One deck here. We've got a bunch of different good, aggressive, multicolored cards here. Butcher, Dreadhorde Butcher is a card that I've been super impressed with in the Red-Black Aristocrats deck that we've played. Got Judith in here as well. Judith plus Cruel Celebrant plus Corpse Knight is interesting because it gives this deck a lot of reach in the form of being able to deal damage with its creatures without those creatures having to fully connect with the opponent. So let's dive into some games with this and see how things end up playing out for us. Is there still no Celebrant foil? Let's check. I don't think I checked for foils that I didn't have bought here. Oh, we do have a Celebrant foil. This is a seasonal reward. Okay, it must be. Is that one of the ones for this season? It might be one of the ones for this season. During pre-release, I got to uptick 6-mana Chandra, cast Flood of Tears, and drop her back into play an upticker again. That's gross. I'm gonna mulligan this. There's too many lands in it. 1, 2, 3. It's just elementary. Even have a 4 to show them out the door. Real decks have curves, chat. Real decks have curves. Block. This seems like a very good trade for us. We have a deck in the deck queue, but have an updated / better version of it you play. How do I go about letting you know? You can email me from the email address where you submitted the deck from. In the future, and this is a good general note for people in general, when you send me a deck for the deck queue, you want to make sure you post it on a site like MTG Goldfish where you can make edits to the deck with an account. Because that way, you can make edits to the deck between when you submit it and when I actually get around to playing it. Because a lot of times there's a little bit of lead time there. Yeah, I think that was a bad attack from my last opponent. Yeah, Knight plus Butcher is interesting. I'm not fully sure who's winning this race. I think I'm going to go ahead and just block this 1/1 here. And then take 4. And then hopefully we hit them for 4 next turn. And then these tick up to 2/3s to block these profitably. If they don't have a Lava Coil here, this is going to shoot this, which is nice. Rough. Yeah, I don't know that we're winning this race anymore. Hi, wifey. I love you. Alright, I think we're just pumping the brakes now. I think this Dreadhorde Butcher trades 1-for-1 with the Legion War boss inside of combat. Brutal. Yeah, if they'd have not had the Lava Coil, or if we'd have hit our land drops, we might have had a shot here. But with neither of those things happening, I think we're probably dead to rights. My wife made me lunch. Well, I've got some Moment of Cravings here. Those seem pretty reasonable. Midnight Reaper does not seem particularly good. This probably isn't good enough. Yeah, main deck Lava Coil is an interesting inclusion in their aggressive deck. That's not something usually the aggressive decks want to play like Lightning Strikes and Shocks game 1. Not a Tibalt matchup. Why do you think it's a Tibalt matchup? Do you expect them to have much life gain? Like, maybe they have some Moment of Cravings of their own, but other than that, I don't really expect the red-black deck to have much life gain, right? I don't think 1/1s for one are very good. Are good against bears. Kinda. I think I have plenty of other cards that are good against the bears. Maybe it's like, though, Gutterbones is pretty mediocre, so maybe it's better than that. No, it's been a really rough week. It's also true that we hit it early this time, but we also have not been winning many matches since we hit Mythic. It's gonna be a tough season for Brews. The standard format before M20 dropped was not particularly brew friendly, and this format with M20 does not seem to be meaningfully different. I mean, we mulled the 5, but like, this hand's really good, right? The London Mulligan was such a fantastic change to Magic. Yeah, in fact, our win rate has gone consistently down since, do I take this and play this and make this bigger next turn? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna race here. Our win rate's gone steadily down as the format's solidified. I was like, people have stopped trying random things, and like, there's more like people playing just good decks. Yeah, our curve here is very good. Yeah, Esper is on a different level. It's much better than most of the other decks in the format. Smush. So they can block here, shoot this, or they can block here, shoot this. They're basically dead though, right? This does 3 total, it does 2 plus 1. And if they kill something else, they're gonna take another one. So they're going to 2 here. I mean, so like, I don't think it's too strong of a statement or too speculative to say that the current standard format's not going to change from the previous one. I do think it's beyond silly, though, to imply that knowing what's going to happen once rotation happens, that things aren't going to change. And things will very fundamentally change once rotation happens. Yeah, I'm planning to, I started a little bit late this morning all night, so I'm planning to go till at least 5 or 6 o'clock, I think. So, like, this hand is good, but on the draw, it might just be a little bit too slow. Someone asked me how I feel. I probably should let out a black source so I have black 1-drops. Someone asked how I felt about open deck lists yesterday. Open deck lists are a necessity for tournaments like that, and personally, as a competitor, I prefer it. Open deck list gives players who are more familiar with how their matchups are supposed to play out more skill in the format. Give them more of an ability to leverage being the little bit stronger player. Lead on Cruel Celebrant because they shocked this in, so they might have a shock or a disfigure. Weird. Just shocked for no reason. So, they can rebuy their Gutterbones here eventually, but I think it's important that I trade there because it allows me to take less damage and not have this grow, which is nice. I'm telling you that in my experience playing Magic, Kettle, and I have a lot of experience playing Magic, that is a nonsensical stretch to make. I think it is both a stretch and it is nonsense as a conclusion to reach. That you're saying things aren't going to change when a rotation happens. I think that is complete and utter nonsense and definitely a stretch. Ooh, I don't know that we can beat that card. Yeah, I'm all for open deck lists and as many things as possible, but a lot of Magic players don't like that. And if you don't know what I mean by that, go back and look at the last Mythic Championship and look at how much complaining there was. That was open deck list. So this game was a good example. This game was a good example of not only the play and draw mattering, but also like our aggro deck being 3 colors, taking extra damage against another aggressive deck, putting us pretty far behind. Heartfire in the sideboard over Moment. Those cards do fundamentally different things, top 10 hammer. So a Moment of Craving style card is a card that is efficient against aggressive decks because it gains us life while also eliminating one of their threats. Whereas Heartfire, I don't even really know why you would want Heartfire in your sideboard. Heartfire is like a fine Magic card for like having reach in your main deck. But like, can you describe to me the type of matchup you feel like you would want to board in a card like Heartfire? Like what matchup do you envision that specifically makes that card good out of the sideboard while not making it a main deck card? We can cast our spells at least, but we're gonna bleed for it. The self-build deck, we beat a Reanimator control deck, but overall was a little bit rough. I guess I'm keeping this. It gives me something to do with my mana if I don't draw any other spells. Hey, D-Contest, thank you for the 8 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Rough. Might be getting to land destruction sooner rather than later. Might be making it to the land destruction deck sooner rather than later. I guess I want Despark. I guess maybe like our whole deck is just so awful against Cry, and I don't have any other tools in my sideboard to change that. These are our options, right? We either take a lot of damage for our mana, or our lands come into play tapped and we're slow. Yeah, that was a game one Cry. That was a game one Cry out of the opponent. Brain Kibler talks about rotating formats a lot and how they give the metagame a huge shift in swings due to the perceived notions of now what is the best thing to do, and other decks that are set on beating those strategies to a degree. And another degree, like this standard format is healthy from the perspective that there are a lot of different decks that you can expect to do well in any given tournament, even if those decks do have like kind of like mediocre play patterns. So this format in general is like kind of hard to metagame, right? Especially when you're playing mostly on a ladder setting like we are, where you expect lots of different things and people playing things that they're just playing for fun, right? Hey, Toast. Thanks for the 3 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright. We get a land to curve into these reinforcements. It's a fine one to have on top. I'll attack with this, because if they block, I kill it with the trigger. Yeah, my Corpse Knight's supposed to survive Cry of the Canarium. Must be an arena bug. Yep. I think I'm gonna ditch this and hope to just hit a land and run these off. Judy lets Gutterbones attack into Nicol Bolas, which is sweet. And Anonymous Cheerer, thanks for the biddies, whoever you are out there. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Thanks for keeping me around. Is this Mardu deck a fun upgrade to that card base? I'm not convinced that this is better than what that deck is doing. Solid Roman, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. If you want something that's a little bit similar to what that deck is doing, you could also just pull up a little bit and play things like Phoenixes and just be like a more red-black mid-range aggro deck. So I'm doing this because I drew another Judith, so this does 2, and this lets me rebuy and then replay this Gutterbones, then I can play Judith next turn and keep attacking, I guess. Yikes. So in previous seasons that we tried Mardu decks like this, it felt like our mana wasn't consistent enough. With temples, that doesn't really feel like the case anymore. It just feels like even when we're casting our spells, the spells we're casting just aren't good enough. And I think your line there was fine, Frags. I didn't think about that line. I would have been able to take the Bolas off the table, and then maybe they brick off and we win. Maybe, if they take that line. Yeah, I don't think you're alone, Percy. If the tournaments, the next couple of weekends, and like the viewer count for Standard has already started dropping off. Like the way streaming Magic with non-rotating or rotating formats work, hype is highest when new set release, and then it kind of tapers off. And like the viewer count's already like pitched off from this Standard format already, as people have gotten realized it's not the change they were looking for. So if it feels like it's going to be more of the same from last season, I'll probably focus on doing a little bit more modern and pauper. But we'll see. We've got like 20 standard decks in the deck queue, and we'll see how those end up before we make any radical changes. We'll make data-driven decisions around here as always. See, I made the claim that we could cast our spells consistently now. So my deck was like, no, Jeff, you can't. Get wrecked. All right. Oh. We're halfway there. Oh, thunk, 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 thunk. Our opponent did nothing and died. Our deck seems really good when our opponent doesn't take any meaningful game actions. Our deck seems really good when our opponent declines to take meaningful game actions. Duress seems fine. Despark's probably great. They usually play these random decks have been playing the Indestructible Dragon. Do I want the grind from this? They probably have sweepers in their deck, huh? Nah, I'm really not a fan of Draft Captain. I think Magic's got enough variance in it that I don't want to add the variance of losing because my opponent opened a Cavalier and a Najani, which literally happened in one of our draft matches that we lost in the event on Wednesday. And in terms of viewer count, me playing limited on Arena is very similar to me playing modern on Magic Online, so I'd rather just do more Magic Online rather than dive into limited on Arena. What's the right sequencing here? This feels super awkward, right? All of these cards want me, all three of these give me different rewards for playing them sooner. I think I'm supposed to lead on this one so it can get out of Cry of the Canarium range ASAP. I think that's why I'm supposed to lead on this one. But these cards have diminishing returns if they're not the first thing I play. So this deck list, like many of the deck lists I played in here, is a viewer submitted list. So my question to you, rather than me telling you that Fireblade Artist is bad, can you tell me why it's good? What problem does this deck have that you think you're solving with Fireblade Artist? And what card am I cutting for this deck to add that card, and why am I cutting that card? Chat, she came to steal my cup of ranch. What is more American than coming to steal your significant other's cup of ranch?
Please. I ran out.
You ran out of ranch. Well, maybe you should get a bigger ranch cup for yourself next time.
Please.
What do you think, chat? Should I give her my remaining ranch?
You don't even have that much left.
I don't have that much left. You want to take it? And you want to take my small amount of remaining ranch?
Yeah.
All right, chat.
You can wipe the edges of my cup.
Chat said you could have it, so you can thank chat. You're welcome. Desty fell up. Thank you for the 3 months support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Kefnip. That's probably unbeatable from here, huh? They're at 11. Maybe if they draw all lands. Yeah, I don't know. I think we were in it until they played a threat. I think Kefnip probably puts it away for them. Yeah, Diva, that's all, folks. Protection from black does not stop Massacre Girl. Protection does not stop global destroy effects or global minus effects like that. However, protection does stop damage from happening because protection is a very easy to understand intuitive mechanic. So while protection from black doesn't stop something from dying to Cry of the Canarium, protection from red or white does stop things from dying to Deafening Clarion. Yep, that's a good example of why the red-black aggro deck plays. Red-black Aristocrat plays Spawn 2. The Arena Shuffler is so bad. Yes, the Shuffler is out to get me. That's why we've lost. The Shuffler's out to get you. The Earth is flat. Vaccines are scary. Those are all things that are definitely true. At least our 5's good again. At least our 5 is good again. We'll draw a land. We'll get to attack for 5, and by that I mean we're getting Thought Erasured. Listen, chat, vaccines are a very serious topic. They're terrible for you. Vaccines cause adults. Have you ever met an adult? Most of them are terrible. Why would you want more adults? Come on now. Well, we tried. You mock it, but it's well known that the Shuffler has become self-aware, and that's why there's such a slowdown. It's using our collective CPUs. Oh. I mean, it's been a long time since I played a Mardu hero list, but if you mean the same issues that it feels like it's bad, then yeah. It feels... So... I feel like the core of this deck's issues is that it's a synergy Oh no! I just friendly fired Talv. I just friendly fired Talv. Welcome back, Talv. I couldn't tell if Emmanuel's message was a troll or not, so I timed them out. Vaccines are completely harmless and you're dumb for thinking harm is possible. The correct statement is that the harm is inconsequential compared to the benefit. Sure, but you're like, the logical extremes from like taking them versus not is like minuscule to the point where like people who are very stupid and don't understand basic statistics and don't vaccinate their children because they don't understand science and basic statistics are a public health risk to the rest of those in the world, especially to the elderly and to people who have health issues that don't allow them to take vaccines themselves for real medical reasons, who depend on herd immunity to stay healthy. So people who don't get their children vaccinated, they're a public health risk. We should get all of them together and like send them to an island or something. All right, anywho, this deck, to summarize why this deck feels mediocre, this deck, the collection of cards in this deck are kind of synergy based, right? Like we're playing these cards to like make hero good, and we're playing these cards to make our other creatures good, and the individual power level of what is going on in this deck just feels incredibly low. Like if we look at all of our cards separately, like compared to the other cards people are playing in standard, it feels like just on a one-for-one basis our cards just aren't good enough, and the payoff we're getting when all of our synergies come together is not proportional to how weak our individual cards are. It was fun. This one felt like a pretty big miss to me, and when you combine all that with the fact that like the mana base is incredibly painful with all of these shock lands, it's just rough.